Okay, I think we're going. I think we're good.
All right.
Oh, except for the fact that my green screen just decided to stop working.
For some reason, I
Hold
can't
on.
actually apparently watch the stream to make sure everything's, doing what it should be doing.
Okay, that's good enough. Okay, okay. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first live stream of The Last Ingress, and a tabletop role playing game um, that I am currently writing. My name is Sean Little, and as I said, I am the writer and creator of The Last Ingress. And for this campaign, I will be your story master, which is the same as a dungeon master in D&D, game master in 9,000 other games. I will be the one running the game, telling the story, and putting these assholes into various dangerous situations. Um, Thankfully for me, I've started their characters off in the early teenage years, which I think is about the mental capacity of tabletop players, anyways. So shouldn't
Look,
have
you
to
don't have
be
to come for me.
shouldn't have to be too much of a stretch for some of them. Um, so yeah, brief introduction for myself. We'll real quick go around and just have everyone kind of give a brief introduction to themselves. Don't talk about your characters yet or anything, but I would say just your name, who you are, what you're into, and your history with tabletop games. And we'll start with Mana, and then just go clockwise.
Hi, I'm Mona. I've been playing tabletop now for quite some time. Primarily D&D, though I have been involved in a few of the very early stages of testing this game. So I'm excited to finally get to stream it and play it, and I look forward to breaking it.
Great.
Love you.
Yeah. Also,
Hi.
real quick, Hunter, I'm sorry to already fucking interrupt you. Just so for clarity, in case of any weird things or things that may be said, Mana and I are married, so I have every right to squash her fucking dreams. All right, go ahead, Hunter.
He does.
um, Man, my brain wanted to make some witty insert into what you just said, but after the day I've had, it just isn't happening.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you're good.
my name's Hunter. I am a semi-professional smartass, and I've been playing tabletop games, primarily Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, for about 7 or 8 years now, and I've been a dungeon master for about 6 months less than however long I've been playing. Uh, and I've also dabbled in the uh, Pathfinder 3.5, and I've played a good bit of TLI at this point. Not a ton, but probably at least 20 to 30 hours worth. Uh, what else? I don't remember.
That's about it if you want it to be.
Yeah. It's been a day, so my brain's dead. So yeah,
Yeah.
just next.
All right.
Characters can be so much fun.
T.
Oh, is it me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. My name's T. I don't know. I would consider myself a novice tabletop game player. I've played a little bit of everything, but I don't have a lot of knowledge about anything. What other information do you need? I'm folding laundry. Is that an important story point?
Not at all, but I guess it would keep people from wondering what's wrong with your legs. All right, Nicholas.
Yeah. Well, with all those wonderful introductions out of the way, that's great. I'm glad I wasn't first. I'm Nicholas, and I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons mostly as far as tabletop games. Oh goodness, I flirted with it back in college, but we only really got serious after I grew up. Um, really, it was more like several of my coworkers decided that they wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I'd had about 10 minutes more experience than the rest of them, so they assigned me to be the DM, and I had to try and bastardize something together to make it work. So there you go.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
about right.
I'm really intrigued by this game, and I'm really excited to play it. To warn anyone and everyone, I have a 6-year-old goblin that will more than likely also incidentally be a part of whatever this is. So
Fair enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
just be yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna
understandable.
say if you were playing a caller.
Right, just
Oh.
yeah, it'll be great.
Absolutely.
She's at least a cute goblin, so you know.
Yeah.
If anyone sees me eating a bunch of chocolate, don't attack me. It's been a day, so I'm eating a lot of chocolate.
I can't stop you.
It's good for you.
I mean,
Even if I could, I wouldn't.
I was gonna say you could if you decide to just drop the stream and drive an hour, but you know.
Why would I drop the stream? I would just keep running game as I drove. We wouldn't have as much of the fancy like the all of the fancy stuff, but I mean I could still narrate as I drove, whatever.
He definitely fudged some rolls.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, so that's pretty much everybody. A little bit of description and history on the last Ingress itself. The last Ingress has technically been a thing for going on nearly 16 years now. It started back in 2005 as an embarrassingly written, as most are, Kingdom Hearts fan fiction. And after a couple of years of working on it that way, I just kind of realized that there wasn't anything I could do with it. And I just wanted to make it my own. So lots of different changes and iterations over the years until it eventually became a tabletop game after I got into them. And you know has been in development for that long. You know, changes constantly, but where it's at right now is pretty much as I think developed as it's going to get in terms of the system and like the rule set itself. Most of the rest of the project right now, in terms of like getting from where it's at right now to like actual publication, is mostly just world stuff. You know, like filling out the lore of everything, or rather getting it out of my head and like actually onto the page. And
Well, that's never gonna happen.
and art, you know, just getting as much of that together as I can, trying to you know, fund things for that. You know, potentially looking at a Kickstarter in the future. As you can see down in the corner, we do have a Patreon page with I think like 5 different tiers depending on what you're willing to shill out. Anything, you know, from that goes directly into development of the last Ingress. So, you know, even if it's as little as $1, we have a $1 tier. If it's something that you're interested in and something that you're willing to help with us on, please go to the Patreon. We have a Facebook page as well if you want to follow us on all our news, as well as a Twitter. And we also do have a YouTube channel. That is obviously just started with the clearly not customized URL. But basically, I'm sure if you go to YouTube and just search The Last Ingress, we should come up. So we will. The plan is to stream every Wednesday at 6:30 Central Time. And then the VODs for the stream will be up on the YouTube channel by Saturday, depending on if there needs to be any editing or things like that. Okay. So yeah, I think that's it. Obviously, this is our first stream, so I don't have like announcements or anything. If for some reason there's already some company out there that wants to sponsor us, that'd be great. Please do that. I'll put your logo up as like the background of the stream. I don't care. It could be.
Get into it, Jeff Bezos. If you can go to space, you can pay for this.
Toss me $1 billion and you won't even lose a wink of sleep, and you would change my life for fucking ever.
Yeah.
If he tosses you $1 billion, you better be sharing with your players.
I mean,
I'd get it tattooed.
They're no one signed a contract yet, so I'm not like legally obligated to.
Oh, in that case, I'm leaving. Bye.
Okay. With all that, I think we are ready to finally get into the actual game itself. So, everybody, welcome.
Oh, a button.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should know better.
Did you expect anything else, Sean?
No. Welcome to the world of Myterra. Like our own, this world has enormous continents, vast oceans, islands, forests, jungles, deserts, huge swaths of lifeless desolation, but also tranquil oases. The world is populated by all manner of animals, monsters, and humans as well. Unlike our world, however, Myterra is permeated by magic. This magic brings forth the raw power of the elements, not the elements we think of, as in the periodic table, but the elemental forces: fire, water, earth, air, nature, light, and dark. Humans in this world, factually speaking, all have a soul, a mixture of light and dark energy that constantly battles for supremacy over the other. All humans have the ability to unlock the true potential of their soul, to awaken. Once one becomes awakened, no matter their age, they are then recruited into a global organization that operates outside of any government, known as the Order of Nations, or simply, the Order. Here, they are given an education and trained in controlling and honing their powers for the sake of themselves, for those around them, and for the world. For you see, a little over 1,200 years ago, a new type of monster appeared that was so dangerous, it became the catalyst that ended a 500-year-long civil war between the various human races. These creatures born of darkness, that became known as Stigma, were such a threat because it was quickly found that no ordinary or mundane weapon could harm them. The only thing able to defeat Stigma were the power of the Awakened. Thus, an accord of peace was signed, and the Order of Nations founded to gather Awakened to combat the threat of the Stigma against the human race. And that's where you come in. You all had your awakening as children, as most who awaken do, and were therefore taken into the Order, where you became a student at the Citadel, the Order's largest, oldest, and most prestigious campus. That time of your life has just completed. You remain at the Citadel, but you now find yourself given the rank of Apprentice. Like all apprentices, this means that you have been placed in a squad of fellow apprentices under the tutelage of a single master. All of you have been individually given information and a set of instructions as to your master's name and where you are to meet them and your fellow squad members tomorrow morning. And so that's where we begin. Mana.
Oh, sure. No pressure.
Yes, starting with you. So you've just become an apprentice. You've been given this dossier of information. Would you have read it, first of all?
Yeah, Taka likes to try and gauge what he's walking into, and check in on what their team composition is going to be. So he would have sat down and checked it all out and seen who's going to be showing up possibly tomorrow.
Okay. So briefly looking over it, you see that you will be under the tutelage of Master Lilith.
Edgy.
It does indeed list the names and classifications of each of your other squad mates, and something that is a little out of the usual, but not by any means strange, is you see 3 other members in your squad listed instead of just 2. You know, given your family history within the order, that generally speaking, most squads under a master are made up of 3 individuals, one of each class of awakened. However, obviously not every single class of students that go on to become apprentices is going to be a number divisible by 3, and so some squads are given additional members. And so you do see 3 names alongside yours. You see...
Our class was kind of big.
Yeah. You see Hunter, help me. Is the R pronounced, or is it more French?
It's more French.
Okay. So you see Lucier, last name.
All right.
Sebastian.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
I'm gonna flub it up just so you are aware.
Don't worry, I fully intended for this to happen.
Okay, good.
Yes, so you
Taka's
see...
not doing it in a mean way. He's just not very good with fancy talk.
So you see the name
practicing
Lucier
that.
Sebastian, caster, Rook,
Okay.
Iron Mantle, wielder, and
Alright.
Sigmund, last name, also
Freud.
listed as a caster. That one isn't me though. I just don't think T and I sat down and made his character on Monday, so I don't think he had a last name at the time.
I was not instructed to include a last name.
Yeah. So, but whatever it is, it's on there.
It is,
Fair enough.
and it's your favorite one out of all of them.
Awesome.
I don't like
Yeah,
it like
whatever sounds hit your mental ear the best. Those are the ones that comprise his last name. So you see the 3 of those listed in the names of your squad members, and you see the meeting time and location is 9 a.m. The date of the following day, and then it says training course 9, and again, living at the Citadel for probably nearing a decade at this point, that at the very back of the campus there is an enormous field, like a grassy field that has these individual plots made of different material, some grass, some sand, some dirt, some stone, of basically practice arenas. So you know what they mean, and generally where to go for something like that.
All right. He would stare at the dossiers and just be like, Lucy. I'm just gonna call him Lucy. I'm gonna mess this up so bad.
Maybe it's Lucaire. L'chaim.
No, he's ticking
L'chaim.
down the down the various ways he could pronounce this, and he's like, I'm in trouble. Ooh, good impressions. Right, I can do this. All right, and he would just read up on everybody.
Okay. So where are you right now? So for everybody, every member of the order is given a like their own housing, like their own apartment. Although students are put into rooms of 4 for like the bulk of their years. But once you become an apprentice, so basically today would be moving day for a lot of people. Like the last week has been getting your room assignments for what will be your living space for predictably the next 5 to 10 years.
He'd be in his apartment, his new one.
Okay. Just like already settled in? Are you kind of like a morning person who got everything done right away, or?
He'd be in that like finishing up. Like there's still a few boxes because he had to say like, "I'll catch you later, guys. Good luck."
Right.
Don't die.
Hunter, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Mind your business.
Okay.
Damn it, you said something, now they fall off.
So Taka, I go ahead and give a description of your character real quick.
Okay. So Taka is about 5'9". He's very tall and very
5'9". Well, okay, 5'9". For some reason, my head thought 6'9", and I was like, 6'9" is a ridiculous height to begin with. But you're telling me this like 13-year-old is 6'9"?
No.
Still a growing boy.
He is a very like big boy. He is built like a tank for it. Well, there he is.
Nope.
I always focused more on the part where you said 5'9" is tall.
Right. So
yeah, there's Taka.
Yeah, there he is. He's got a black hair that fades to a silvery gray. One eye is a brilliant and vibrant blue. The other is a molten gold. And yeah, don't let the drawing fool you. He's actually very personable and very kind. He looks very stoic. I just realized he looks very standoffish, and that's not Taka at all.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my boy.
Okay. Now, Mana, you've been in previous Last Ingress campaigns and
Yep.
have played extensively with callers before.
I have.
So you know that it is possible for a call and a caller to have conversations, even if one hasn't been summoned. Do you speak at all to your call when they're not there? And if so, would this be a time that you were?
Yeah, because he is panicking. He's
Taka
meeting
is,
his...
or your call is?
I don't think Lodraken is panicking in the same way that Taka is. If anything, Lodraken is probably trying to calm him down and be like, "It's going to be fine. You're going to have a great time."
Okay. Very, very friendly for the type of creature he is.
It's a little aggressive and fitting of that, but I just paraphrased.
Aggressively positive?
Aggressive positivity. I love it.
You're gonna be fine.
Calm down. You'll be fine. Okay.
I can't do the deep voice.
Big fan. Aggressive positivity is my favorite positivity.
Exactly.
I'll buy you a coffee.
Okay. All right, so you're just kind of in your room chilling as everything's set up.
Yeah, for a little bit, and then he'd probably head out to an area where he knows he could summon him, just to kind of have that presence with him, and just to kind of coexist and be with him.
Okay. Lucie, kind of the same general question for you. You know, it's been move-in time for the last few days of people moving their stuff from essentially like where all the student dorms are located into the apprentice apartments. So would you again, given that it's pretty much about the same time of day as it is for us, about 7 in the evening, it is also like getting into the later half of summer, so the sun is setting, but you still have plenty of light. What would you be up to at this time, the day before your apprenticeship is to officially begin?
He is 100% in a lab testing things.
Right.
Primarily concerned with gravity and how things react to a non-pressurized area. I can't think of the right word, but there's like little chambers you can pump all the air out of, and it makes
Vacuum
a vacuum
chamber.
Yeah, thank you.
The chamber where you like vacuum out the air.
Listen,
No,
I don't need
I
to
get it.
ask.
I know it's been a day for you. I'm here for you, buddy.
We love you,
But I am
bud.
also against you.
I'm here for you, but in like an aggressive way.
I do this because of you, Jonathan.
That's fair. Yeah. So you, the Citadel has an entire like, essentially like a hospital-sized building, that is completely dedicated to R&D, their research and development. So yeah, it is by no stretch of the imagination that your character would find themselves there quite often already.
Back at the apartment, my room looks like it's half unpacked.
Right. Like you got the essentials out and the rest can fucking wait.
They can wait. It's fine.
Yeah.
When I need clothes, I'll get them out of the box. I'm living out of boxes, basically. I have
Fair
my
enough.
bed and a couple of posters up, and they're
Yeah.
all, it's like a periodic table and then a table describing the 7 elements and how they might interact with each other a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's I forgot there's a diagram that I'll have to get. I'll have to send to you. Okay. Rook, what would you be doing with your afternoon/evening before you're due to start your apprenticeship tomorrow?
I'd be exploring the area around my new apartment, trying to get a lay of the land.
Okay, gotcha.
Make sure I know where everything is.
Okay, yeah. So the area around you is on the western side of the Citadel, where pretty much like the entire area there is their like residential area. So you have the various dorm buildings for the students, the sets of buildings that house the apartments for the apprentices, and then the housing for like the masters and journeymen and operators and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So there are some like dedicated spots for like small gardens and parks, and there's decorations like fountains and benches placed along the walking paths here or there. And then just further to the west of that, there's a large lake, and just beyond that is a forest that pretty much goes for miles out westward. Just north of campus, that you would be able to see at all times of the day, is so the campus itself and the city that the campus was built to the north of, which to most people is just simply known as the capital or the capital city, although of course it has a proper name. All of this is situated in the valley of an enormous crescent-shaped mountain range known as the Hallowed Falcate. So you would have that view just to the north of you at all times, and then to the east and south of you is essentially the rest of the Citadel grounds, and then the city to the south.
Cool.
So yeah, most of which, again, you've been here for the formative years of your life, so a lot of it is pretty familiar to you. But yeah, but getting the immediate surroundings is mostly just the residential stuff, where even now, like this late into the day, you still see various now apprentices, much like yourselves, fellow classmates who are moving their stuff from one building to the other, most of them being assisted by either some form of magic. Some of them, you see all the various creatures of the calls that people have summoned to help them with the heavy lifting as much as they can. Some even with their families, making the treks back and forth and just hanging out. And then, of course, the usual crowd of people who have been here forever.
Sure.
Because the entirety of the Citadel itself has hovering around 1 million members of the Order within it. So definitely the largest, the most busiest. But yeah, so that's mostly what you see around yourself if you're just kind of people watching and getting the...
just trying to get used to the new surrounding. With regards to the, I'm guessing I would have gotten similar papers about where to meet in the morning and whatnot.
So the information that I described to Mana is the same information that everybody would have gotten.
I would have likely only looked at where I needed to be and who was in charge that I needed to talk to or present to.
Right, exactly.
And as far as the apartment, Rook is fairly simple, very task oriented. So all of his stuff is already unpacked and neatly put where it needs to exist.
Okay. Yeah, and speaking of, give us your own description of your character.
Hi. He is a 4-0. So he's a little bit stockier. Black hair, bright gold eyes, and then about 5'5", and kind of built around not necessarily manual labor, but some physicality there. More not necessarily unintelligent, but more so focused on getting work done physically.
For sure.
So yeah.
As opposed to Lucier, the fucking nerd.
Hey, by the way, you didn't let me describe my character.
That's true. I meant,
I
noticed that.
I'm so fucking sorry. Go ahead and do that.
No, it's fine. Go under the neck. No.
Back it up a little bit. Back to you.
We'll go back to the periodic table.
Yeah. Anyway, back at the laboratory. He's at this point, given that he's younger, I imagine him as being on the shorter side for his race. He's 5'2", has white hair, and is pale as shit. There you go. Has green eyes. I mean, yeah, there's his picture. And he's personality-wise, he's not truly an introvert. He just focuses on work a lot. But he does like to be around people. He just is usually at the lab or studying or something.
For sure. An unintentional introvert.
Yes. But if someone cares enough to actually try and have a conversation with him, he'll talk. It might be mostly about his work, but he'll talk.
Okay.
Also, I had a question.
Yes.
The information packet thing. Would I have gotten that while I was in the lab, or was it mailed to the apartment?
No, so it was.
That's when I determined if he read it.
For sure. Yeah, it would have been primarily sent digitally. So the like service that the order uses, like for all that process of information, like email and all that sort of stuff, it would have got sent to you. And especially with your everyone at this point like has their order issued cell phone, their smartphone, and then like Lucia, you had mentioned that you had a tablet as well, so definitely would have gotten a notification on both those things.
Okay, now here's the important part of the question.
Yes.
Did I get it while I was at the lab, or when I was at the apartment, or if it's at any point I was at the lab, I more than likely have not read it, other than like, oh hey, there's that information. So anyway.
Yeah, I would say that again, like right now it's about 7 p.m., but it probably would have gotten sent out pretty immediately, so probably around like 10 a.m. this morning. I'll let you decide how long you've been there.
He's a 14-year-old boy, so he's not that determined, but he probably read it at some point then.
Yeah. Again, like, just kind of like, okay, where do I need to be? Who's there? All right, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where, when, and who. That's all he cares about.
Okay.
Fact, Hunter is essentially playing 14-year-old Nicholas. just saying.
Ready for the dad jokes.
Plus magic.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much.
I'm feeling a little called out, and you don't even know me.
Add the spice.
It's great. It's great.
Okay. Oh, there he is. T. Sigmund. So what would you be doing with your moving day evening?
Yeah, so I would probably be expected back at my family's home for like a formal dinner. So I would probably, by this time, if there was like some sort of training or something that I could have done, like I had free time in the middle of the day, or if I had like some sort of internship or something like that, like a medical internship, I would have been doing those probably during the day. But in the evening, I would be expected. My father would expect me home.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So basically, like in a situation like yours, they probably the order probably would have like come to you, and you would have essentially filled out like a form or stuff like that as to whether you actually wanted to take an apartment space on campus or decide to live off campus with your family. So then I'll ask, basically the same thing, is like, even if you visit them, are you living at the family home, or are you living on campus by yourself?
I would say so. Sigmund is from a really strict, very upper high society, snobby military family.
Right.
And while he doesn't internalize any of the ego and pretentiousness that like his parents, for example, have about their status, he does still kind of have to play by their rules. And I imagine that they would be the kind of parents that would expect him to live under their roof, so they can make sure that he's not doing something that they disapprove of, or something like that.
For sure. Okay. Yeah. So you spend the evening with your family. It's the usual two-toned conversation of they're proud of you for getting to where you're at. You've always held good grades as you did throughout your student years, and but it's also it's always kind of ended with that small little jab of like how much they're expecting out of you. It's like, well, you did so good as a student, we hope to see even better from you as an apprentice. All that sort of stuff that just undercuts any sort of compliment they may have actually been making, was just their roundabout way of reminding you of how much they expect out of you.
Thanks,
you-
Dad.
Same.
I'm not supposed to hate fictional people, but I hate them. They sound terrible.
I haven't even
Wait
met
till you
them.
meet them.
I
I'd rather
won't.
not.
They're not gonna like me.
I'm sorry, they're your parents. They're wonderful. They're beautiful. You're lucky.
No, they're monster people intentionally, so that's it's okay. We can acknowledge it.
They're monsters. It's fine.
Not literally, maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
I'm just,
Oh.
So, everyone has a relaxing enough evening.
Can we get a description of Sigmund?
yes.
Thank you, Hunter.
Oh, okay. He pictured the like blonde-haired, green-eyed person that you would picture being a product of this family. That's pretty much it. He's like a picture a young Tom Felton.
And say, is your
I like
father
what
going
you
to
did
hear
there.
about this?
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm not gonna say it.
No, you're exactly right. That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, we've kind of based the character concept and design and a lot of that stuff off like essentially
it.
like Draco Malfoy. So
Yeah. Okay.
Couldn't
There
tell.
we are.
so not too far off the mark there. Okay. So you all have as peaceful an evening as you expect to have. The
I-
anticipation of the following day, always on your back, but for some of you maybe that's excitement, for some of you maybe trepidation, but one way or another, regardless of your emotions, time marches on, and eventually it comes into the evening, and you all head to bed for the night. So as we come to the next morning, who amongst you is the type to set an alarm, and is there anybody that doesn't?
I set alarms.
I set alarms.
How?
Actually, no. Just get up with the sun. I'm kidding.
Well, so okay. I guess I'll ask. Because I did assume everyone had an alarm. I'll rather ask. Who amongst you is the one alarm type of like it goes off, I'm up, I'm done, and who amongst you is the either snooze or like I have an alarm for 8 o'clock and 8:05 and 8:15 and 8:20.
I am of the second variety.
Gotcha.
I'm the first.
Rook
What time-
is of the first.
What time did we have to be there?
9 a.m.
Okay,
you-
I'm
you-
up
you
at
know-
like 5:30.
Yeah, and because the apprentice apartments are basically just across the way from the student dorms, and like the walk from the dorms over to the practice fields takes about 20 minutes, so it probably isn't going to be any much shorter of a time to get from like where you're at over to there. Still about like a 15-20 minute walk.
I'm up like between 5:30 and 6, and I like if no one else is up, I don't know who gets up when.
Yeah. So actually, what I'll go ahead. Well, it's since everyone did say alarms, I'll ask who amongst you probably would have set the earliest alarm for the day. Again, given that the appointment time was 9.
So Lucia would have been what 5:30 to 6.
Yeah.
Rook would have gotten up at like 8, and it would have been very simply eat breakfast, take a shower, get dressed, be out the door.
Okay.
Taka
Same as me.
is about like 7:30ish. There's like a 7:05, 7:15, and 7:30.
That's what
Gotcha.
Nicholas does.
And then he's got the
And
rest
then
of the time.
and then
to
he
get
gets
ready.
up at 8.
No, he's up by 7:30
Okay.
because he has to make sure he gets his breakfast in. Otherwise, he's a very grumpy boy.
Right.
Is it Taka that's grumpy?
It's both.
So Sigmund, I'll say for you, since again it's a bit of a special case with you living off campus. Obviously, it's going to take you longer than 15 to 20 minutes to get there.
I'm very fast.
So for you, so in this world, most of civilization, and like society and inner city workings and all that sort of stuff are all public slash mass transportation. Like cars do exist, but they are much more rare than they are in our world. You know, like city infrastructure is based around that sort of transportation than it is cars. So like uh far less roads and more like a lot of the inner city stuff are like there are roads, but it's more for the buses and the trolleys and trams and things like that. You know, a lot of cities have subways and rail stations, and you know, bullet train technology is still there. It does exist, mostly for inner city travel. But the capital city and the Citadel itself are large enough, very similar to Tokyo, where like bullet trains are used within the city as well to get you like across town in a decent amount of time. So given your family history and everything and where the house is likely located, given the different types of transportation you would have to take, it'll probably take you about half an hour to get to the Citadel, and then again from like where the station is at the Citadel to the the location where Master Lilith told you to be, is probably like another like 20 to 30 minute walk versus like the 15 to 20 that they have to take. So all in all, like you'd probably need to give yourself about an hour total of like transportation time between like your house and getting there.
Sure, I would have been up very early.
Okay.
Just, you know, in keeping with the theme of my family and parents here, I expect that Sigmund would be expected to get up early. So.
Okay. Yeah, and that definitely makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so for those of you at the Citadel, each apartment that you guys have does have like its own kitchen and bathroom and things like that. So there is the option to, you know, make your own food. There are various vending machines located throughout each floor and in like the large common rooms in the various floors. And then on the bottom floor, there is a small kind of food court with, you know, like a couple different restaurants and like a cafe that's open 24/7. And each of you does have basically your own money for food. The Order of Nations takes care of their members, and one of the things about being a member is that you have a lifetime of free housing, 3 meals a day, no payments on like utilities like water or power, free TV, and free internet. So you know, whether you make your food yourself, just grab a quick snack from the vending machine with some pocket money you may have, or using one of your one of your 3 daily meal tickets to go down and get something from one of the restaurants or the cafe. Taka, what would you do? What's his thing? Seeing as he's the multi-alarm individual, I would imagine it's the last minute, like you try as much as you can to get ready on time, but you still find yourself running out the door and just like hitting a vending machine or something on your way there.
No, he doesn't hit the vending machine.
No?
Taka is the kind of person, he knows himself well enough that he food prepped last night.
I was just gonna say, did he make himself breakfast at dinner yesterday?
No, like he like pre-cut the stuff because he would have made himself like essentially a little bento box, like breakfast bento,
Okay.
and run out. And he would have made enough for friends because Dad said food makes friends and is a good conversation starter.
Okay. What sort of
So-
breakfast did you make?
He would have made a sausage, a bell pepper and onion omelet with cheese, with some little dipping sauces on the side, and like, if you guys have seen like the Japanese omelets where like they slice them open and just, that's the kind of food he makes. And then he would have had a couple thermoses filled with coffee and like some little cups to go cups and everything. He'd still be running out the door, but he would have allotted himself enough time because he's the kind who will shower the night before, not in the morning.
Okay. Okay. Lucier, what's your breakfast time like?
Well, he gets up rather early, showers off, gets dressed, and then goes to the kitchen and makes a bowl of oatmeal and some toast, probably, or maybe eggs and toast.
Efficient.
Yeah. And then he's out the door by like 7:30. He's off to the lab to check on an experiment he left overnight.
Perfect. Okay. And then basically
gonna be
heading
late,
from
doesn't-
there over to the field.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I fully intend that, yes, he will probably be the last one in the door at the last second.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Rook, what's your food situation like?
Yeah, very simple foods that don't take a whole lot of time to prep or heat up. He likely would have had simple things already set in the fridge, and he could just pull something out and either stick it in the microwave or heat it up on the stove.
I say,
fairly-
like, is he the like bowl of cereal and a protein shake
yeah,
kind of guy?
basically.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Okay.
He is a little particular about certain things. He has to eat breakfast and then shower, just in the off chance that you don't eat after the shower. You give it some time there. Just you don't want to like dump your cereal on your
Well, and that's I
Sure.
speaking of dump, I was like the potential morning dumpage.
Constitutional.
Yeah.
deposit.
Yeah, you want
That's-
to
that
wait
is
because like the last thing you want is to
before
be
the
in
shower.
like in the middle of the shower and then you're like, oh, I gotta take a shit, and then like you just feel like gross all over, so you just have to retake the fucking shower, and you're sitting there
yep.
wet and naked on the
There's
toilet.
an order
yeah,
of
it's all bad.
operations. Yeah.
Exactly. You gotta avoid the moist toilet.
Ew.
Because the bathroom gets steamy when you're in the shower.
Yeah.
All right, that's
That's the whole thing. Like you take the shower, and then if you have to go to the bathroom after, the bathroom is just not worth it.
Yeah,
Just-
for sure.
I get
Um,
it. Yeah.
Sigmund, is your mom one to well, is anyone in your family one to cook, or do they are we going with they have people who do that for them? And even if so, is that something they would make a thing of, like, no, like you eat breakfast with the family, you're not gonna like go out and get something?
Yeah, for sure. I suspect he would get up early for like a morning run or something like that, and then would be expected back at the house to have a help prepared breakfast of some kind. But he doesn't take it too seriously. He like 90s kid in a movie does it, where he comes in and there's like $400 worth of food on the table, and they grab like a blueberry and then walk out of the room.
He's
So-
he's the anime pro tag running out the door with a piece of buttered toast in his mouth and nothing fucking else left.
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Something like that.
Like
Gotcha.
a full giant breakfast sitting on the table, just going to waste.
Yep. Okay. All right. So then, yeah, I would probably say it sounds like Rook will probably be the first one there.
Very likely.
So Rook, as you travel across the campus, heading out of the building and heading eastward, you are greeted by the rising sun of the, early to mid morning, as it just starts to cast its rays across the area, and you see the wide, enormous expanse of the Citadel. The first kind of key feature you see as you begin to approach the very center of it, you see an enormous fountain that is constantly spewing this crystal clear water that, especially at this time of day, catches all of those rays and glitters in the sunlight, casting small little arcs of rainbows in various directions. The details of the fountain itself are, you see 6 larger than life figures that make up the center of the fountain, and you know these to be the 6 founding members of the Order of Nations. Just to the north of that is an enormous golden building that has 6 spires coming out of the top of it, that you know as the Millions Building, which is the kind of main hub for the Citadel itself. Lots of meetings and mission briefings and all of the bureaucratic stuff that goes on in the Order is housed in that building, which includes the Council of the Grand Masters, and where the leadership of the entire Order itself, the Overmaster, his office and his living space are located there as well. But you walk past all that, just to the north of that building, where again you see this enormous grassy field that is then divided up into these small, normally rectangular training grounds, and each of them is labeled with a number, so it's very easy to find the specific one that you've been appointed to meet at, which again was field number 9. So you kind of walk up the center aisle, and 9 isn't super early in the morning, so there are a couple other plots that are already taken up by some other individuals, training and performing various exercises. You see flashes of magic and various things going off every once in a while. And as you approach number 9, you see that it is a grassy field. We'll say about 50 yards long and about 30 to 40 yards wide. So essentially about half the size of a standard football field. And standing at one of the corners, you see a tall, feminine figure in a long blue coat, and some brown boots with long pink hair that has been tied into an enormous braid. And the dossier that you were sent had a essentially the ID picture of your master, and you would have seen in that even though you haven't seen this woman's face yet, you're pretty sure this is her, as she has a very distinctive hairstyle and color. So you know that you are coming up on Master Lilith. At this lady right here. There she is. Ta-da. Oh, well, those two are gone, so I'll just do that. But yes, you see this individual. Actually, I'm gonna put it right up my butt. There she is.
I like it. Now she's just gonna stand judgingly behind you.
Yeah.
Big fan. um, yeah, Rook would pretty pointedly just walk up and announce himself as as being there and ready for whatever, whenever.
Okay. Yeah. So kind of like as you call out, like she again. So she has her back to you, and you can kind of see that her head was like down, possibly like looking at something. And no matter how gently you like attempt to announce yourself,
it wouldn't have been that gentle. It would have been kind of pointed.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a definite like jump, and she like quickly turns around, but sees you, and just like she kind of just like puts her hand on her chest for a second, and is like, "Oh goodness, you scared me." Hi there. I'm guessing you are Rook Ironmantle?
Aye.
Well, it is a absolute pleasure to meet you. You're the first one here, obviously. My name is Master Lilith, and it will be, I look forward to teaching you. She kind of like looks like, like around and like behind you and like down the lane, and just asks like, have you seen any of your other squad mates yet?
I have not.
Great. And she kind of like looks at like a like she like you see her like look down, and you see both like a standard like like folder with like multiple like printouts on it, but also like a like her own phone that's on there that she's checking, and like she like checks the time, and like the others still have plenty of time, but you still see this kind of nervousness on her face of like,
right.
Is everyone going to show up? But she just says, she's like, okay, well, I don't want to get too far into anything before everybody's here, so you're welcome to sit, hang out, practice on the field if you wish, get warmed up. I don't expect us to be doing too much today, but I am going to be asking for a little bit from you guys, so do whatever it is that gets you best in comfort. And she kind of just goes back to her stuff.
Question.
Yes.
Is that her talking, or is that you talking because brain?
They're all both.
Okay.
I can't help who I am.
Separate the two, yeah.
Literally everybody in this world besides certain awakened, aka the players, just have a little bit of a mental illness.
Excuse me, what do you mean that we don't have it?
Well, fair enough, but
I've designed Rook to, he's kind of, I don't want to say dry, but like he's got stuff to do. Like
he's not wet.
As soon as she's like, make yourself comfortable, we're gonna wait on everyone else, you get that sense that he's like, okay, cool, and is already thinking about something else. He's not even listening to her anymore. He doesn't take any notice of the social whatever. It's just
like the social awkwardness or whatever. It's just like, all right, I got the message. I don't need to hear the rest of the words.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I got you.
At which point, he would have summoned his shield and immediately began like tinkering with it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's his thing to like get in the mode.
Hi, Nova.
I have a quick question for clarification purposes. And it starts with me stating, Sean, don't eat the mic. Is it against the Citadel's rules at all to use magic around the build, like in around the buildings, not like in just training areas?
As long as it doesn't cause any property destruction, you're good.
Okay, good to know.
Don't break shit, but
But you're good.
Don't break things or people, and you're fine.
Well, if I break both things and people, does that cancel each other out?
It doesn't. It just doubles the
it
Issue.
multiplies exponentially.
yeah.
Okay.
Why do you ask? I am so nervous when people are like, "So where's the line?"
You'll find out when it's time for me to get there at the last second.
Fair enough. Oh, I guess there's just two of me. All right, he's back.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll say, Taka, you'd probably be the next to arrive.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, you come up the that center lane that separates these like two like rows of training fields.
Quick question. How far once I get like out of my apartment till like there's enough space?
I mean, there's no overhang or like awning or anything. So like as soon as you exit the building.
Okay, he would get a little ways away from the house, and then summon Lodraken just to get a lift to cross campus faster.
Okie
Four
dokie.
steps and you're there.
So, Rook, I'm gonna have you make the first roll of the game. So,
Ready.
warm up a D12 for me, and I would like for you to make an intellect check. So it's just gonna be 1d12 plus your intellect score.
So not great. Got it. Cool.
When we warm up our dice, should we put it in the microwave or the oven?
Your mouth.
Oh.
I did it wrong, but that's fine. We're going. That would be a 5
A 5. Okay.
total.
Thankfully, that's about as good as you needed to do. Because
That's what I aim for.
clearly they weren't sneaking around. Not that they could if they tried. But
You do it, dude.
you feel before you sense in any other way this, like, you've seen Jurassic Park, right?
I have several times,
When
including the anniversary edition.
when the so Master Lilith has this cup of coffee that's like sitting right next to wherever you ended up sitting, and you think you
The
kind of
ripple thingy.
so like you think
That
you
was
kind of
Godzilla, not Jurassic Park.
No.
Yeah, in both.
Jurassic Park did do it as well.
Yeah, it was the little cup of water
yeah, it was a cup of water with the T-Rex.
and like the footprints.
Yeah.
What was it?
So again, you kind of get this sensation of like something's off, and you kind of look down and you see the ripples kind of like going out every couple seconds, and then you hear some like chatter from behind you, so you turn around like back in the direction that you came from, and the sight you see is this big boy.
Okay, this brings to mind a question. Finish your description, then I have a question.
Yeah, I mean, you see that, and you see a boy about your age,
Okay, that answers my question. Okay.
astride on top of it.
Wait, can you
How big is
scale?
this?
Can you scale Mana's picture next to it for size?
That'd be great.
Yes,
Actually,
actually.
yeah, Taka. Scale Taka
Sure.
to
Yeah.
Is it Ladraken? Is that right?
Yeah, Lodraken.
I can
Got
pronounce
it! Yay!
it.
There are some changes to that image that I'll point out once we get the scaling done.
Oof.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you see this electrified, deep blue, bejeweled,
Iguana.
enormous lizard creature stomping down the main drive, and like you see the few other fields that have like that also have like younger members like apprentices and everything,
Uh-huh.
very clearly like turning and staring, but like there's a couple of like the older individuals who are there just like doing their daily stuff, just being like, oh, yeah, cool, and just going back to whatever they're doing because they've
Not weird at all.
they've seen a lot worse and weirder.
I mean, if this is like, this would be like commonplace for them. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Okay.
you see that starting to come your way, and like you don't see any other people like in front of you. And indeed enough, like they come up to where you're at, field number 9, and stop. And as they do, like you see Lilith, who has been still oblivious to everything that's going on around her. Like sense, just a presence off to her one side, and it's just like, oh, do we have another? Oh,
sorry, and like he like slides down Lodraken's like arm.
like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
Okay, since we've gotten the first roll out of the way, now I'm gonna have them start. Do me a favor and make a celerity check to see if you stick the landing or not.
I figured a celerity check was coming, so
Oh, yeah. So what was it?
an 11.
Okay, yeah, you've done this enough to have perfected the art at this point.
They saw an opportunity. They're like, "Ooh, we're gonna get good at that."
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
practice.
There were
How-
definitely a couple bruised testicles in the early days because he's got those crystals popping out of places. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you just miss one.
It was not a good first.
Oh,
couple
it's like-
tries.
It's like the video of the guy trying to slide down the thing between the on
Uh-huh.
the subway between the escalators. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, exactly.
When he does slide down for you, Rook, you would see the hair that in that picture is like laying to the side is actually like straight up.
Wind blown.
Yeah, pretty much like mirroring the fins on Lodraken. You do see kind of like a tail swishing behind him. That also has the little
Okay.
crystal and studs,
Yeah.
and his claws like he has claws and stuff, and his grin is fanged, and the blue eye is glowing, but he's also holding what looks like food.
Okay. So throughout all of this, Rook has just been sitting like crisscross applesauce, like tinkering with his shield, and he just pauses to watch the whole, fiasco arrive, and then when he realizes that you've got no beef or business with him and you parked, he just just right back.
No.
whatever.
Reaction he's used to.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's just
so
it's more about the whole like not my circus. Got it. Cool.
Fair enough.
yeah. So Taka, you dismount Lodraken, and kind of land just like about like 5-10 feet from Lilith, and she like takes a couple steps towards you, and like she seems to like remember something that she may have not done with Rook, and like takes all of her stuff in like one arm and like extends a hand towards you with the free one, and says and I'm sorry, I forgot your character's last name. Makame. She says, she kind of like looks at the file like one more time, and then like looks back at you, takes a brief glance back at Lodraken, and is like, Taka Makame, I assume.
Morning. I brought food.
I see that. Well, thank you very much. And she just kind of puts her hand away.
Oh no! Like, he does, like, take your hand.
Okay.
And,
Well, you
like,
didn't
when
mention
he
that.
does, like, her hair probably stands up on end from just the static on him.
Yeah. Yeah. So she gently shakes your hand, It kind of like has to like flex her fingers from the little bit of like static that's there. And just says, well, my name is Master Lilith. Your squad mate Rook has already arrived, but we are still waiting on 2 other individuals. So if you wish to find a place to sit, we will get going as soon as everyone has arrived, and I'll kind of go over everything then. But until then, get comfy. You know, feel free to talk amongst each other and get to know each other. We'll all be together for a while, and okay. And she just kind of turns around and goes back to like where she's been standing and just like studying her notes.
He just takes out one of like his little bentos and like sits it next to her, and then goes and like he looks at Lodraken and just nods over towards like the big like empty space near them so he can position himself, and so he can just kind of like sit down and lean in.
Okay.
With Rook.
Yeah.
With Rook and Taka.
Yeah. Again, like this facility has been here for over 1,000 years now. Like they understand that the people they recruit can call upon creatures of this size. So like a lot of the spaces around here are built around that concept. So there's enough space for him to like walk like in between and just kind of like get settled on like the other side of like where the benches are.
Yeah. And Rook would hear just good morning. Don't know if you ate yet, but I brought some breakfast. And you see like a small bento set in front of your shield. No, don't eat the mic.
Sean, do I need to come up there and deal with you?
Please.
Wow. Thank you for the breakfast. I've already eaten, but it smells better than my lunch.
Taka, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Back to work.
Wait, did you just say dork?
No, he said back to work.
Taka, nice to meet you, dork.
No, that's fair.
He's dry. He's not rude.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just making sure because I misheard you.
It's good.
Now Taka just smiles and he's like, "Not everybody's a talker. That's fine," and goes and sits somewhere on Lodraken and just eats, occasionally tossing like a sausage to Lodraken.
Sausage tossing.
Sounds like a German sport for some reason.
I mean, he's a drop.
It definitely
be.
sounds like the like direct English translation of something in German.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not Googling that either.
Okay, so next I'll say Sigmund. So you've arrived at the Citadel and started heading towards the training grounds. And so same site again, like you like start walking up the main aisle, heading towards the correct number, seeing, like some individuals on either side, in their practice and training. And then as you continue to approach the spot that you're pretty sure is the one you should be at, you see a tall, nervous-looking pink-haired woman, an individual who seems to be tinkering with an enormous shield about the same size he is, and a fucking dinosaur that is covered in these blue crystals and seems to have this slight electric glow to them.
Yeah. All right.
So that's your morning.
Well, I will approach the teacher's name. You've said it 400 times.
It's
what
fine.
is it?
Lilith.
Lilith. I approach Lilith, introduce myself, and make sure that I'm like in the right place for the class. It's all like very formal. And then I keep nervously side eyeing the monster, and and then just kind of go and stand not like on the exact opposite side of where they are, but like away from them because I'm unsure about the thing. But I make like a very rudimentary, if I can, I guess I make like a very rudimentary like thing for me to sit on
Yeah.
out of like the hard light, the magic
Yeah.
that I can do, and then I sit on that thing that I made.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, like as you know, you approach Lilith and everything, you know, she greets herself as well, gives you a handshake, you know, make sure that you're Sigmund last name. You know, and basically, you know, gives you the same spiel of like, you know, we'll be starting once the last person gets here. We're only waiting for one more person, so, you know, go and wait with the others, blah blah blah. And then just kind of like goes back to her notes. And so Rook and Taka, you guys see this clearly like well-to-do individual in these like nice like pressed clothing with this, you know, like emerald green jacket, you know, very clearly like high Lumerian, you know, like, you know, slicked back, like white hair, bright green eyes, or blue, whichever ones I fucking gave you. And you know, kind of even more so to like keep that air, like doesn't say a word to you guys, stands like off to the side, kind of like opposite you guys. But you see them, and you read the file, so you know he's a caster. But you see him, you know, kind of, you know, wave his hands or do whatever, you know, however his magic works, and basically like a chair made of this like kind of whitish blue light constructs itself, and he just sits down at it. Do you guys say anything or just kind of leave him alone for now?
Yeah, Taka would come down off of like his perch on Lothraken and walk over and just be like, morning, Sigmund, right?
Yep. And you are?
Oh, Taka Makame. I've got some breakfast if you want some.
No, that's okay. That thing's not going to eat me, is it?
Lothraken?
Yeah.
No. You're not a stigma, are you?
No, last I checked, no.
Okay. No. He's my call.
Ah, okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Wasn't I just didn't know exactly what was going on.
Yeah. No, he's my call. We spend a lot of time together, as well as often as we can, considering his size. But yeah, I've got breakfast and coffee if you want some. If not, I'm just gonna go over here.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of breakfast did you have?
I used my dad's recipe to make omelets with some white rice porridge. Would you like some?
Yeah. So I'll reach out and kind of like gingerly take it. I am going to make a plate to eat it off of, and then I'll come with you, return over to where you guys are sitting instead of sitting across from you guys.
Okay. Yeah, he just kind of like lounges against Lothraken, and he fixes you like a cup of coffee and sits it next to you.
During this entire interaction, as soon as he came up and introduced to Lilith and then went over and sat by himself, without actually like moving, Rook would just look up from his shield and watch the whole interaction between the two. And as soon as they started to come back over, he'd just go right back to tinkering with his shield.
Yeah, if you look up and make eye contact with me, I just sort of like understanding nod at you and then let you get back to work.
That works for me.
Taka, real quick, what's your appeal?
My appeal is a 4.
Okay. In your head, as usual, you just so the rest of you visually see the behemoth of Lodraken just kind of like just inch a little bit his head just inch a little bit closer to Taka. And Taka, in your head, you just so, even though it's telepathic, he still kind of like does the thing like he's gonna whisper to you, and in your head you just hear, "I think he's kind of an asshole."
No, that's not fair. We don't know him. And like this is a like telepathic response.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Fair. We don't judge each other by our looks.
But he's got the white hair.
I understand that, and I get that we haven't always had positive interactions with lighter-haired individuals, but we cannot judge them by their looks.
Wait, see.
It flutters in the wind.
Like just that little bit just kind of moves, and just something completely out of your control, and you like again Taka, you just hear like, ugh. All right, so with that interaction, about another 10 minutes go by, and so it's kind of like just ticking a couple minutes after 9, and so Lucier, are you the type that's like, oh shit, I'm late, have to get there, or is it like, I'm late, I don't care how late I am at this point?
So kind of describe the situation that led up to it.
Yeah, because I was gonna basically ask like, walking or running, what are you doing?
How bad is it?
No, I'm in the lab when I feel the vibrations of Lodraken, and I look over to the clock and I see it's like 8:58, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. And like hurriedly put everything away as safely as I can and run outside. I want to alter the gravity around me to essentially allow me to fly in the direction I choose.
Okay. So here's gonna be the first thing for this.
I'm intrigued.
Like, in my mind, this is how he gets around everywhere if he's running late, which is not that infrequent.
I will say that this'll be a minor spell. So you're looking to get a 12 on your magic check, and if you're adjusting gravity,
it's specifically around myself, so
yeah,
like a smallish area. And essentially, I'm going to first make myself fall up, and then be falling forward in the direction I choose to get to the field.
Okay.
Because it's not really flying; it's literally controlled falling.
Right.
Sounds awful.
I'll give you. I'll give you that's elementalism, but I would say technically that would be transmutation, so it won't be your college; it'll just be your school. Yeah.
So I get +1 from it being my school.
Check the. 'Cause I got the
Pretty sure that's what.
Yeah, check the character sheet. It should have that table on there, and it'll say. It should say school. Hopefully, it still doesn't say primary school and secondary school. I think I changed it.
Yeah, it just says school. So. Okay. It's a school of elementalism, which gives me a +2 because it's school.
Okay.
It's my school. And then there's 2 colleges under that, which are evocation and transmutation. And transmutation is my secondary. Right?
I thought you said you chose evocation as your college.
I am confused. I thought you just pick one of the 2, it's not you get a primary and a second. Okay.
Yeah.
I follow. All right. Evocation is his primary. Or is his
college.
Whatever. Yeah, thank you. Words. New stuff. We're
all learning.
Yeah. So I get a +2 from that. from magic for magic checks, I get a +1 for my clothing, and I add my intellect as well. Correct?
Correct. So all of
Okay,
that
so-
in the addition of a roll of the d12, and that'll get you your total. So you're looking for a 12. If you get under that, the spell will fail. But also let me know if your total equals 7.
Well, I rolled a 12 on the die, so that's a total of 20.
Okay. Uh, so yes, this is clearly something you have practiced doing, and it works exactly as you intend.
Okay, so
Instead of
they're all
walking,
just yeah, are you walking or running? Neither. I'm fucking falling.
you know what?
It's
Even
okay.
before you fucking explained everything, I was just like, even as I was asking you, are you walking or running? I was like, he's not going to be doing either of those things.
Well, you remember I asked earlier, where's the line?
Right.
We found it.
Oh, this
Yeah,
isn't
it's
close to the
well, and
line.
I mean also like you're not you also so as you do this, like you're also not the only individual in the air. You see like a couple other casters, like maybe not the same way of throwing themselves around the world, but various other casters in some kind of mode of flight. A couple callers who like have a call that is capable of flight as well. And so you hurl yourself carefully towards the fields.
I don't picture it as he's just like asshole
Yeah.
tea kettle falling.
No, I gotcha. So
I have a question.
yes.
How far up do you fall before you start falling forward?
Oh, I fall at a diagonal along the street until I get above the buildings, and then I just go like as a crow flies to the field. Straight line.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you're up there.
Draco 21, falling with style.
Hey, that's my best guy friend. I know that guy. I told him about this. He was very intrigued. So yeah, falling with style.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So So yeah, so the rest of you that are waiting for whoever it is, the fourth member to show up. Once again from behind you, you start to hear various people, like some of them like well, not whispering, but you hear some people speaking in like shocked terms, and then like from the older voices you hear just laughing. But not in a like again because you aren't tumbling over yourself or anything, but just a like an entertaining like holy fuck look the reaction anyone would have to seeing a 13-year-old flying through the air.
14, thank you.
14, I apologize. I said 12 to 14 and just averaged it to 13 for everybody. So the three of you interested, kind of turn around, and indeed you see the form of this 14-year-old individual, this 14-year-old boy, who also has kind of like long white hair, but like pulled back into, I think he said kind of just like a loose, like messy bun or whatever in the back, just to keep it out of the way. In this like lab coat, just soaring in the air towards you guys, and then just like coming like in an arc in a descent, and just like kind of lands a couple feet away.
It's straight up and comes right above them and just straight down.
How exactly does landing work?
Yeah, make a celerity check for me.
Well, I was gonna say, could I make a magic check to like control the gravity as I land?
Like the
Yes,
one behind you is like a drag force.
I'll just say like just make an intellect check, and like it won't be the same like numbers as the table. Like just make a
9.
Okay, yeah, good enough. Like you basically just let yourself fall, and then just like cushion your fall with a bit of magic, and then land softly. Master Lilith still hasn't turned around, and she doesn't seem to have noticed.
I am so sorry that I am late.
Oh goodness, And she once
Brooke
again
was
for the
very
fourth time,
interested
yeah, just
in
gets
all of
surprised and like turns around and sees you. And she walks over and like kind of like checks her notes once again, keeps them close to her and then like extends a hand out and says, "You must be Lucier Sebastian."
Sebastian, but yes.
Sebastian. I apologize. I am Master Lilith, and It is a pleasure to meet you.
Words are failing me. Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. I am so sorry I'm late. I was caught up in an experiment in my lab.
Yep.
And I do shake her hand.
Okay.
Sorry. That was like the whole time he's speaking. He's like,
oh, okay. So like the
words
whole
fail me.
conversation is just.
Yeah.
And see, well, okay, it's gonna have to. I don't know if you let go first, but she's not gonna be the one to let go first. So,
It goes on for a solid 10 seconds after I stop talking.
Yeah, well, it's like as we continue this conversation, it's just all like, well, as I told the others, well, actually, no, not as I told the others because we were waiting on the last one to arrive, which is you. But that's not a problem. I just now that everyone's here, we'll kind of get going, but. I'll give you a brief couple moments with your squad mates as well to introduce yourself a little bit if you wish to before we get started on things.
Of course. Sorry. I turn to whoever's closest. I assume would probably be Rook
probably Rook,
on the
yeah.
ground.
She gets it.
I take it you must be Rook, given the minor dossier we were given.
As you arrived, he was very intrigued in all of that. He kind of set his shield on his arm and went ahead and stood up, kind of at attention. And as you come up and address him, he just, "Aye."
Right. So, and where were the other two? Didn't y'all sit kind of?
Yeah,
away?
just pretty much like sitting right next to them.
Oh, okay.
There's like 2 or 3 benches kind of like along like the sidelines essentially.
The dragons crushed one of them. I go to whoever's next. I'll go clockwise. So Sigmund, I guess then. Or wait, next would then be Taka. Whatever. Taka. I turn to you. Hey, good morning. Sorry to have run out before anybody woke up this morning. I say, it's kind of glancing across all of you. I had an experiment brewing overnight I wanted to check on.
That's what I'm gonna start calling my shits. I had an experiment brewing.
It was specifically about thermonuclear dynamics combined with lack of gravity and in a vacuum.
Yep, you're still describing it. I don't know what you...
Taka like listens. It's clearly over his head, but you can tell like he's trying to understand you.
So, from what I can gather at a glance, I take it this lovely reptile is yours?
Oh, yes. This is Lodrake. He's my call. Also, would you like some coffee or breakfast? I've got extra.
Coffee would be lovely, but perhaps save breakfast for a snack in a bit.
Sure.
Wait. They're 12 and drinking coffee?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried. I have a 6-year-old. I am very worried, okay? I'm just... All right, we're good. We're good. I'm sorry. Continue, please.
I thought I was playing you when you're this age.
For Lucia, and he's like, I am going to apologize. I'm not great with names, so I may butcher your name. No, it is not intentional.
It's fine. Most of my companions actually just call me Luce.
Okay, I can do that.
John, don't with the face.
He hands you the coffee and goes back to sitting with Lotrakin.
He 100% chugs the coffee after cooling it a bit with some evocation. Like, just drops a couple of ice cubes in it real quick. He pulls from nowhere. Yeah. And literally just chugs it and turns to the last one that's left, Sigmund. And I guess that makes you Sigmund.
Nope.
Well, I was muted, but yes. And you are
Lucier, or you can call me Luce.
Lucier. It is. Nice to meet you.
You as well. I see you're a
That was
fellow
a fun trick that you did there when you came in.
Manipulation of gravity is sometimes key to getting around rather quickly. I haven't quite reached terminal velocity yet, but I'm hoping to one day achieve that.
Good luck with that.
I just want to say that is the only appropriate response.
Okay, I gotta go take my dog out. Actually, I hope it's okay that we take like a couple minute break. Here.
Yeah. I was actually gonna say this with everyone together and everything. We'll go ahead and take a quick like 5-10 minute break, and we'll come back to you guys after that. Okay, we are back, everybody, from our break. Couple of quick announcements because of stuff that came up between the break. Mana and I have a dog named Nova, and we just wanted to put out there that she's a complete moron. So
She is cute though.
No actual announcements. Go to patreon.com/thelast-ingress. So, back into the game of The Last Ingress. That has a Patreon. So the four of you have officially met, and given each other some brief introductions, as you sit there and kind of go over a meal that Taka had prepared for everybody. Does that include Lilith or just the squad mates?
Yep, nope, made it for everyone.
Okay.
Pork.
Yeah, because he had said, like, he set one next to her.
Okay, well, she wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, I figured.
So I'll say, like, it's still just sitting there. She's still just, like, going over her notes and everything. And then...
Okay.
No, come on.
He would have, like, after a few moments of, like, seeing her not notice it, he would have been like, Master Lilith, there's some breakfast for you if you want. It's next to your foot.
So would this have been, like, earlier? You mean,
Yeah.
like, okay. Yeah, she would have just, like, she would have looked down and said, like, oh, yes, thank you, and then just gone back to, like, what she's doing. So, like, even now, like, she, like, it, maybe she knows it's there, but it has just slipped her mind, and the clothes box is just sitting there. She may get to it, but it's, like, it's very, like, you know, like, none of this is, like, intentional. It's not like she's not caring. She's just kind of in her thing right now. And it's very, you're getting the sense that she's very clearly a very focused woman. Like, whatever she is focused on, that is what she's perceiving. So, after the arrival of Lucier and you guys having some, you know, brief conversation, Master Lilith kind of finally, like, seems to, like, close her notes for the final time and like, sets them down. And she walks out into the practice field, but still, like, you know, by where the sidelines are, where you guys are gathered. And you know, she goes out there, like, straightens herself up, you know, makes sure she's, you know, very well and presentable.
Me next time.
Oh boy.
And Hunter, that inspiration that you have, take it away.
Hey, I had inspiration.
Everyone should have one use of inspiration right now, except for Hunter, who has 0.
You mean intervention?
I do. I don't know what game I'm playing.
It's the game of life.
Right.
It's the game of life, and we're all losing.
Yeah, I feel that one.
You were right.
But yes, so she goes up and kind of, like, takes a deep breath, and she says, "Hello, everybody. I know I've greeted you all individually, but it is nice to greet you all as a group, fully together now. As you all know, my name is Master Lilith, and I will be teaching you for this stage in your career within the Order. I know they probably, you know, went over a lot of the minor details on orientation and things like that, but just to make sure everyone is caught up, essentially how your apprenticeship will work is I will be further teaching you how to hone and grow stronger in your various powers and abilities. I myself am a Sorry, I forgot which one specifically.
Brain was derailed.
Okay. She says, I myself am a guardian, a caster who specializes in the School of Protection and in healing and those sorts of things. However, I have obviously worked with enough callers and wielders to, the Order has deemed me fit to train you all. I'm gonna break for a second and just lay things out for you guys and be honest, because I want to start our relationship on a foundation of trust and honesty, and I hope you return those in kind, as we begin to trust each other. You all are my first apprentices. I gained my my rank of master about 2.5 months ago, and so whenever this season was upon us, I filed to get my first squad of apprentices, and that is you all. So I hope that doesn't put any doubts in your minds, but I wanted to be upfront and honest that I may and will make mistakes along this journey. But I hope you don't hold it against me too hard, and we all just kind of roll with the punches here.
I view this then as a sort of first-time
This again.
experimentation. There's always a few bumps in the road with new experiments.
Of course. Okay.
Mistakes happen. Just try and make mistakes when it won't kill us.
Well, no, of course not. I will do, of course, every single thing in my power to make sure that if it comes to that, I die first before you. It's hopefully not going to come to that, but if I can, be real and maybe, potentially a little somber for a moment, we all know why we're here. We are here in the Order because life has gifted us with these powers, and it is our responsibility to use them to help protect the world. And for the most part, for us, that will mean going into dangerous situations that are our responsibility, that we are the only ones who can take care of the problem. We still help with other things here or there, but the reason we're all here is because the Awakened are the only ones who can take care of this threat, who can take care of the stigma. But especially early on, I won't be throwing you guys to the wolves or anything like that. We'll start off small as I gauge where everyone's strengths and weaknesses are, and we will build off of that and kind of go as we are. I feel like I will tend to not, require an awful much from you guys. I'm not going to ask you to, be doing exercises every single day. I don't expect us to meet every single day. We're not going to be going on, different missions every single day, unless it turns out that that's what everybody wants. In which case, okay, I'll strive to do my best.
I would absolutely love to be busy every single day.
Okay. And she just kind of pulls out her phone and just seems to
makes a note,
type a quick note.
I'm not speaking for everybody. I don't know everybody's preferences, but I enjoy staying active.
Very well. Also, just to make sure, because I know sometimes these sorts of questions and clarifications get mixed up in paperwork and things like that. It appears everybody here is male. Is that correct? And is that what everyone wishes to use in terms of pronouns and things of that nature?
Taka just nods.
Okay.
Aye.
They, them would be preferred.
Okay. And she makes another note. Okay, so she says, all right, well, first, you can only learn so much from reports and dossiers and things you can read. I prefer demonstrations. So, without any sort of specific goal or guidance, I would like for each of you to individually show me what you can do. So, do I have a volunteer to go first?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I know earlier it said evocation as his college. Could I just be transmutation instead?
Yeah,
Because
that's
the
fine.
more I think about it, the more I feel like he would more be a transmuter.
Okay, that's fine.
They would be a transmuter.
Yeah, for sure.
As soon as she asks for a volunteer to go first, Rook kind of looks down the line to see if anyone is stepping forward.
You see Taka kind of look at you and just shrug and
As
be
a
like,
two-
"You want to go first? You want me to go first?"
As the two of you are looking, Lucier steps forward, half step, slightly unsure, but
He just gets up and goes forward anyways.
Let's get it over with.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and seeing that, she says, "Okay, Lucier, well, I'll let you go first." And she kind of steps off the pitch, and allows you to move wherever you wish. And again, she kind of reiterates, "All right, as I said, no real particular goal. Just give me a demonstration of what you think would encompass you."
So he steps forward, and as he does so, you can kind of see some light kind of gathering around his feet into a solid form, and they
Explodes.
actually, yes. I cast Fireball.
Just fireball of the darkness.
Yes. You can tell me, Story Master, with a celerity check of 8, if I'd be able to do this. But essentially, the light that gathers around his feet turns into kind of ice skates, except as he's skating on light. And as he moves, the field itself starts to get covered with a layer of light, and then he starts, as he's skating, he'll do other stuff. But with a celerity check of 8, would he be able to skate?
So that'll be for sure good enough to
Skate.
kind of skate and keep yourself upright. Do me a favor and make a
Magic check.
yeah, it'll be a magic check. So I'll ask, are you encasing the whole field at once and then kind of skating on it, or just kind of as you go, X-Men Iceman style?
X-Men Iceman style.
Okay, then for this I'll say a minor check, and I'll give you your no, actually I'll give you your school.
That just makes the target 12.
Okay, then yeah, you do it perfectly fine. So, as he described, the rest of you watch as, this glisten of light, encapsulates Lucier's feet, as this trail of light kind of appears around the field as he skates around it for about a minute or two.
As he goes, he kind of like builds upward in a diagonal until he's, and it slowly fades behind him. It doesn't
Yeah.
stay permanent. But he gets to the other side, kind of at a direct diagonal across from everybody. And I picture them like I'm on the other side, long ways of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And he, as he gets to the other side in his direct diagonal across, he stops and solidifies a light around his feet as an anchor. I keep saying he, and I get used to that. And they do their power surge in the middle of the field.
Fun.
Okay. What was? Oh, right. No, I remember yours.
Oh.
So are you choosing just the basic like just magic, or are you making it light?
Here. As I went about skating across the field, could I have made a couple of statues just along the way? Nothing fancy, nothing super detailed. Like it could even just be pillars. Like I just form pillars of earth or ice or something.
Yeah. Go ahead and. Normally, something as basic as that, I would consider minimal. But since you're doing the other effect as well, just the concentration on like doing both, go ahead and make another minor check, and I'll give you your school for it.
I rolled a 12, so that's a 20.
Okay. Yeah, perfectly fine. Are they just there to demonstrate what it is your power surge does?
Yes.
Okay.
So I put some that will definitely be affected by the power surge, and then I'm shrunk. Then I put some that are further away that won't be hit by it, given its area.
Okay, just so also to just demonstrate like how big of an area it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And power surge. I have my details here. Full turn action, point seen within 60 feet. Any 30-foot radius sphere, so it's a 60-foot diameter. And anything I choose within is pulled towards the center, fail, and it has to make a defense versus my magic check.
Which obviously,
pillars,
yeah,
so.
they're inanimate objects, and well, and I think we also put in there, or if not, you can put in there that like objects essentially automatically fail.
Yeah. And essentially, I want this to be. Actually, these are going to be pillars of light, and then the power surge is going to be a darkness vortex, basically.
Okay. Yeah. So towards the like apex of his skating, you guys see these like pillars of light start to appear around the field in various distances, and then as a grand finish, at the very center of this, you guys essentially see what we would know as like a black hole appears.
I center it kind of 30 feet off the ground, and there's a couple of hovering pillars as well, since I went up into the air. And anything within the sphere of it, it looks like basically just it shreds it, eats it.
Yeah, and especially since this is light, you see the light like bend towards it and start to swirl around it and get like refracted around it in seemingly impossible directions, and then that lasts for about 10 seconds and then kind of stops itself, and as the effect of the power surge ends, I'm guessing like you're basically just standing there like
I when it goes off, whatever element he chooses is actually going to show in his eyes, so his eyes go dark for the 10 seconds as well.
Awesome.
Love it.
And you kind of see the tips of his hair change slightly as well for the duration, but afterwards he kind of like has a lightheaded moment and just plummets like the 30 feet to the ground.
And I rushed
Like,
to catch him.
You start to, but just as he lands, because like you guys are like focused on him. You see some sort of movement from Lilith. Oh God, yeah. And like just before you hit, he like stops and then like gently like floats to the ground and is like turned upright for you to stand. As you guys turn to look, you see Lilith with her hand like outstretched towards him, and in her hand appears to be a wand. The tip of which is glowing slightly. With this same kind of silvery blue light that you see that like caught Lucier and like set him down. And
momentum.
And she just gives a brief sigh, and then kind of like you see her like put the wand back like in her sleeve.
As Lucier like is upright, he's kind of holding his head, just kind of staggers for a second and catches himself.
She's like, well, that was great. That was absolutely incredible. But don't push yourself too hard. But
Sorry, you said show what we can do, so I wanted.
I did.
To be,
I did.
I wanted to show.
And and boy, did you! That was a grand demonstration. Thank you very much, Lucier. Now, please come and sit down.
As she's saying that, he's like already sitting into a wheelchair made of light that then just propels itself. He's like, okay, I'm going for the day.
Yeah,
The
she's like,
unbridled
well,
audacity.
okay, all right. Okay, well, thank you again, Lucier. Who else would like to volunteer to give a demonstration next?
Taka and more importantly Lodraken, after seeing that and starting to go forward, just continue forward.
Okay.
And
yeah, and you just hear a very small, like from Master Lilith, just like, oh, okay, the big one.
Fair enough. So Lodraken looks around and then looks down at like Taka, and Taka's like, right, Master Lilith, I need some targets, if you don't mind.
No, of course. And you see her like she doesn't bother with her wand. She just like kind of like looks across the field and like waves her hand, and as she does, you see these 5 basically just like illusory like test dummies appear that just stand there like statically. Well, and so she does that, and then she's like, moving targets?
Awesome. Either or, perhaps both are good.
Okay, illusion isn't my strong suit, but all right. And so she like moves her hand towards 2 of them, and you see 2 of them start to like maneuver around and just kind of like dart and dash this way and that, while the 2 others like they kind of like defend themselves, but they don't really move too much.
Okay. So you see Taka kind of like lean down, unzip his boots, and kick them off.
Okay.
Everybody was like, unzip his what?
No, unzip his like boots, his shoes that he's wearing, and kicks them off, and you see like his feet are like clawed in a very similar manner, and you see him kind of get up on the balls of his feet, and then he just rushes forward like a velociraptor from Jurassic Park / World. 35 move speed.
Clever girl.
Yeah. And then like behind him, you just see Lodraken just start moving as well. Still very quick, because if I remember correctly, he matches Taka's move speed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, your attributes, your speed, your bonuses, all that stuff are shared between the two of you.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure I had it correct.
Yeah, and health points, like your maximum are shared between the two of you, but your actual HP pool is like if one of you gets damaged, it doesn't mean the other one does.
Yeah, I knew that. I just wanted to make sure I had it correct for the move speed.
Yeah, you do. I will say, like, normally, like, callers do tend to empathically feel it. So, like, if one of you is injured, the other one will, like, know about it and, like, may feel, you know, like a sensation, but nothing ever enough to, like, deal damage.
Yeah. So you guys see Taka and Ladraken both, like, rush forward. Taka being the more swift of the two, though Ladraken not far behind him.
Well, yeah, because like he moves 35 feet in a round, but that's a step.
Yeah. So like the first moving target, you see like Taka leap onto and jump to get a hold of it. And once he does, you see like his chest start to glow, and he just opens his mouth, and there's just a bolt of lightning that shoots out from it. If I need to make any checks at any point in time, just tell me, DM.
I will. I'm letting you talk till I hear something.
So he does that. You see it kind of, I assume, just kind of.
That was an illusionary target, so no solidity to it.
Well, are they?
Well,
are
no,
they
they are. Yeah, no, they are solid, but
Okay.
they do dissipate like essentially as soon
So
as they're
like
dealt
little
damage.
holograms,
Yeah.
kind of. No, wait, get down. Sorry, I've got doggo on my bed.
And a rhino on my tail.
So like he does that, and then you see like Ladraken get low to the ground and open his maw as well. And there seems to be more of a charge time, but when he does shoot, he catches 3 in a row, because what's it called? Sorry, give me just a sec. There is, where is it? There was a thing I could do, and I forgot what it was.
Your
oh wait, no, I didn't
power
take that.
surge?
Never mind. Huh?
Your power surge?
No, it's just a straight. That's something different. That's coming up. This is just like one of his standard attacks, so it's just like a line of lightning to catch 3 of them.
Okay.
And then they kind of circle around each other and get back to back, and you see them kind of like hunker down and like focus, and you see the light actually dim from the crystals on Ladraken, and all of the light seems to go straight to his chest. And you can see a similar effect happening on Taka. And you see like his hair, while still standing straight up in a mohawk, like the lightning that you guys saw coursing through it is gone. And then as the light builds, it like bursts out in a wave. As he does his power surge. And there are 2 of them. 1 for each D20.
Right. Okay. Just because of curiosity, roll those D20. I want to see what the damage would have been.
Does it get close to us at all? The power surge waves?
17. And then a 20.
Close for sure. But these fields have been designed again because like most people, especially starting off, have like average distances for effects and certain things, so they're kind of built around those expectations, and they come close. Like the fields kind of end just before they get to you guys, and you do feel like a wash of air and like a bit of like the remaining like static electricity kind of pass through you, but nothing harmful.
Your
nothing
tablet
that
might not be happy.
Well,
I was gonna say,
I was just about to specify, and no, like electronics are affected.
Okay, I was gonna say his tablet might be a little fussy.
No.
Well, I was gonna say, if I see something coming, I would like just pull a wall of earth up like King Boomy does to Aang,
For sure.
and just like, nope.
Yeah, and I mean, you still can if you want, because again, I explain those things, but it doesn't mean you necessarily know it.
Yeah, he 100% does.
Okay.
Like he sees it coming in like 5 feet in front of him. He's just like,
Perfect. Um, okay, yeah, so, kind of the same thing, Taka. Power surges are a big thing, so you definitely feel tired, but, again, nothing, affects your character sheet or anything like that.
Yeah, and I just kind of give like a bump to Lodraken, and we just start like walking back together.
Okay. Yeah, he goes off to his side and just kind of sits, and you see the tail kind of curl around the front of him, where again, he's not so exhausted that he feels he needs to leave or anything, but this is definitely all right, I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah, and Taka is very much all right, next tag, you're it. And
As
goes
you-
and sits on the tail.
oh, okay. Let's say as you come over, he starts to form a chair for you, and then he's like, oh, you're sitting on it.
Oh, sorry. I'm just used to him. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Rook, Sigmund, which one of you would like to go next?
Rook looks pointedly at Sigmund.
Yeah, I can go. I can do that.
Okay.
I don't know how to. So, so I'll step out in front of the group, and I will just instruct, or I guess not instruct, ask Lilith to cast like a minorly harmful spell at me or something.
And obviously, with the information she has, she understands what's going on, and so she steps out onto the field as well to be across from you, and she just kind of she stares you down, but gives a very brief nod before immediately thrusting her hand out and sending just a lance of magical energy towards you as a mystic blast.
I just imagine, hey Lilith, fucking hit me.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
It's the much more polite version of that.
So I'm basically gonna treat it, as it would be. So she'll make an attack against you, but I'm adjusting a couple things because obviously she isn't going full against you. So well, I'll ask what your intent is. Just throwing up a shield right away.
Well, yeah. So my goal here would be to construct a like a light wall, like a light shield, and then push it forward so that it goes and meets the magic missile or mystic blast in between us. Okay. And while it is proceeding forward and blocking that, if presuming that it does block it, to show off the other kind of parts of my abilities, I would turn and run and attempt to create small discs of light in the air. Turn and run and just keep going. Create a small disc of light as I step in an arc up above the field, not too far, just a little bit, enough for me to turn around, and then I would cast some sort of a light projectile or something like that out of my hands back at her.
Okay, so what I'll have you do, basically, she's going to make an attack check against you, which basically means you'll make a defense check, and based on how you described it, since you're using your magic essentially to defend yourself, it'll be a D12 plus all of your static defense bonuses plus your intellect. since you're using your magic. Well, that's good that she was trying not to hurt you. That was a shit fucking roll.
You take 84 points of damage.
Oh, right, she gets that bonus. Well, we'll just see what you get.
It would be an 18.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. Yeah, so basically, just as he described, you guys see her fling this like lance of magic towards Sigmund, and then he creates a like a wall like barrier of light that gets like thrown forward to meet the projectile, hits it, and the two of them, like basically like the missile gets blocked and then the wall just shatters on impact like glass. And already moving while this is happening, as he said, you basically see him like moving in an arc around her, but creating these like solid. Who left the chat? Something just got fucked up.
Nick left the chat and it's ruined everything.
Well.
Yeah, he basically did. Well,
You have a please stand by screen?
I do. I sure do.
His router just completely crashed.
Oh shit.
Rip.
Okay. Well,
He said he'll be back in a second.
One Mississippi. Well, he lied.
Shut up, Butter. Whoop, that ain't it.
I mean, if this is our
Fuck is
for our first live, we're not doing heroic.
No, yeah, if this is the only thing that
This is the
happens,
worst
then
we got
I'll be
going
happy.
on.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Yay!
back!
Huzzah!
Welcome back, friend.
Yeah, everything went black, and then I look over, and my router is also gone. But it's back.
All right.
The joys of living in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. But yeah, so Sigmund like starts making these like series of like hard light discs that lead them up into the air. And then you said you were just basically throwing like a lance of light energy at her.
Mm.
Okay. So
What?
Not intending to cause harm. I just assumed her being the boss lady, she would understand and be able to deflect it.
yeah, no,
Probably
for
you're
sure.
not getting anything else right now.
I would say I'll still make it a minimal check. So roll a d12. Well, okay, actually let me ask. Would a 1 plus your intellect score plus your magic check bonus equal 8? Like even if you rolled a 1, would you be able to hit an 8 or would you need to roll?
I'm not sure what the magic bonus one is. The number for that.
It
So
should just be a +1, I believe, from our magic clothing.
is it just a? Oh yeah, it's a +3 to defense checks where the +3 is.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I have my character sheet saved on my iPad, but if I pull up a second app on screen at the same time that I have this open, it freezes my camera, so I don't have my character sheet up.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I understand.
But yeah, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, maybe not.
Okay, then yeah.
I think it might with a 1. With a 1, I think it would be a 7.
Okay, well, go ahead and roll. So obviously you won't be able to backlash this, but let's see if you're able to do the least amount possible.
So it was intellect and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's another 18 actually, because I rolled a 12.
All right, so basically here's how casting spells work. unlike normal attacks, this requires 2 different checks because it requires the magic check, which is what you just made, which is to see if the spell happens. But the second part, since it is like something you're actively targeting, like you're trying to hit somebody with it, now you'll make an attack check, and they'll use a defense check. So basically, for you, as an attack check, roll a d12 plus... for this, I would either give celerity or intellect. And then, again, whatever bonuses you have to your attack, which I don't think casters get anything at, like, starting off.
12.
Okay.
I didn't roll a 12. It's 12 total.
Yeah. All right. Well, she got a 16. So as you predicted and probably hoped a little bit, you do successfully, like throw out just this little bit of light energy towards her, but she turns around and you actually see her wand like pop out from her wrist again, and her being a guardian. And specializing also in protection magic, just kind of like similar to you, just kind of like points like in your direction with the wand, and a small like magic shield appears that your spell hits. So there's that, and there you are, 20 feet in the air.
I make steps and come down.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you just make your way down, and she
My way downtown.
She says, well, she would obviously have this information on hand. I just forgot. Did you also go guardian, or are you sentinel?
I think initially I was thinking sentinel and wanted to focus more on the protection side, on, you know what I mean, the defense side. But with now knowing the other people's characters and kind of what they're doing, we already have a shield man. So I don't know if I need to specialize in that part. I might go guardian instead.
Okay.
Still obviously using like the light magic, but since we have our main tank, I'll be a healer.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So knowing that, she says, okay. Well, I would also kind of like to test how your reflexes are. So let's, and right at that, her wand's still out. She flicks it towards the sidelines, and you see a streak of fire going towards Taka. Sigmund, do you do anything?
Well, okay, so is this an unattached fire, like a projectile in the air, or is this a fire being lit and spreading quickly across the ground?
No, yeah, so she's just like pointing with her wand, and then like basically like a fire bolt like shoots out of it, and is like a singular like projectile just made of magical fire that is beelining it to Taka.
Well, can I
well, that sounds like his problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems a little facile to be like, to just cast another barrier in front of it after I said I wasn't going to be Mr. Shield, but I do that.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and well, first I'll say just roll an intellect check to see if you can like just by sight tell like about how powerful this projectile is, so you can kind of like base like, you know, what sort of shield
Well, let me ask this, because my first response was I was going to form a bubble around Taka
Mm-hmm.
and pick him up and just move him out of the way, instead of trying to counteract her magic.
Okay.
But I didn't know if I would also be able to loop the monster in there with her, if I would be powerful enough to lift them both up.
You could certainly try.
Oh, boy.
Do you wish to do that?
I mean, that sounded ominous enough for me to second guess myself, so.
Good.
What if? Sorry, I had a mechanics thought. Question.
But yeah, I mean, like split-second decision. Would you try and do it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I would.
So, obviously, due to the size of Lodraken, bubbling both of them and attempting to maneuver them out of the way in time, I would say is going to be a major effect. But I will, you'll get your school bonus. I'll give you that. But yeah, this would still be more Sentinel than Guardian. So you'll get the +2 from that. So it'll be again, it'll be a D12 plus your magic check bonus plus your intellect, and you're looking for a 20. And let me know if you get 15 or less.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm gonna have to think about how I backlash that, but let's find out.
He makes the sphere, but he doesn't move him in time, and the spell rebounds, hitting someone.
Oh no, I've figured exactly what's gonna happen.
All right. So since I have the Lumerian elemental bonus where I get favor on light based magic casting.
Right, I think it does say that.
Okay, good.
Let me double check.
I do believe it do. Don't know a lot, but I think I knew that one.
All right, let me double check. I'm gonna freeze for a second because I want to pull up my character sheet.
You're good.
I won because your answer was
Uh,
If you mean the elemental affinity is just +1 to any light damage.
No, I get favor on light based magic. I thought I have it written in the features section here. I guess maybe I might have completely misunderstood, but I thought that was what I was doing.
Sorry, people checking rules.
Because
Because this isn't a game that's been out for 10 years.
And that you wrote.
Listen.
I'm listening.
All right, and while we're doing this, just to clarify, because I want to make sure that this is only the second time I've played this game, so I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah, for
Walk
sure.
me through how I calculate the magic check that I am rolling currently.
So it'll be a D12 plus your intellect plus there should be a section that says like magic check. It's like right above the table where you can like add things to any bonus. So like for example that what Hunter mentioned earlier is that you start the game with an enchanted article of clothing that adds a +1 to your magic checks, which should be the only thing affecting that right now. So essentially for you, it's a D12 plus your intellect +1. And
Okay. Well,
and also do remember, if on the off chance the roll was bad enough, that as I said earlier, everyone does have one use of intervention at the moment. If you wish to do that, which basically, you expend your use of intervention and get to roll again and take the higher result.
you said I would have to hit 20, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, even if I rolled an 11, but even then, I'm going to be maxed out at I think that puts me at 17. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna hit 20, unfortunately.
Okay, but 17
Sorry, Taka,
is
I
what you
tried.
got.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just making sure, because a 15 or less is a backlash. So yeah, basically, like, so Taka, from your perspective, you saw this like short demonstration that they gave, and then like Lilith said like a couple words to Sigmund, and then you just see like her arm flick in your direction, and then just there's a mote of fire coming towards you. And you see Sigmund turn and like, bring up like his hand to like do something. But the streak of fire, it doesn't hit you. It goes right past your head, but at the moment it like passes, as soon as the danger's over with, you see this shield come up around you. And then like momentarily, like it just like kind of comes up, it's there for a couple moments and then like dissipates. And she Lilith just like looks at you, Sigmund, and is like, "Okay, well, good job. We'll work on that. We're all here to learn and improve." You okay, Taka?
You're
I
muted.
hear nothing. You're muted.
I forgot I had that because I had Doggo and a cat having a verbal exchange, so I silenced my mic.
Is that what they call it nowadays? Okay.
Taco's just like, I'm alright. A little heads up next time when it's just us.
Well, yeah. I mean, the entire point was to gauge Sigmund's reaction time, and if I warned you, then he would know, and that would debase the entire experiment there. I'm sorry I didn't, let you know. But I would never intentionally put you guys in harm's way if I didn't think I was able to control the situation.
Fair enough.
I have a mechanics question.
Yeah.
Because this situation made me think of it. Had Rook also decided to try and react and put his shield around at the same time, and those two basically somehow worked in tandem, would that lower the check or give favor, or?
It may have just been a separate thing of like Sigmund trying his thing, Rook trying his thing, only because like one's a caster and the other's a wielder. Like if the two casters decided to like try the same thing, that would be one thing. But yeah, like since obviously
they come from a different place.
Yeah, and like we'll get to this, but the caveat to that is so Rook is a wielder with the earth element. If he ever was using his magic for earth-based stuff, and one of you two used either like evocation or transmutation to like help with that, or if you guys were doing something earth-based, he could assist with that. But that's really the only like specific way that like callers and wielders would be able to like assist casters and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, good question, Hunter. I
honestly didn't even think about reacting. I just wanted to watch.
The tank, everybody. Okay, yeah. So Lilith kind of shuffles you off, and she walks off as well. And as she does, she says, "Okay, Rook, you, last but not least, is there anything you need assistance with, or do you need testimonies? What do you
yes,
need?
please. I'd like a couple of targets, 60, 70 feet downrange. That'd be great.
Okay.
At least for the first part.
Very well. And so same thing that she did with Taka. She makes about 4 illusory figures that, unless you wish otherwise, are just stationary.
Stationary is fine.
Okay.
For anyone who doesn't remember when they saw the image of Rook, his shield is the same size he is, the big shield.
Big boy.
But it's got kind of the classic heater shield shape. And so as soon as the targets are formed, without any real pomp or circumstance, I don't want to say nonchalantly because it's very much goal oriented.
Very chalantly.
Very chalantly. Chucks his shield at the one farthest to the right, but I would like to clarify, it's not like Captain America style. It's very much like you're throwing a javelin. He's holding it up with one hand with his hand on the back and just launches it.
Okay. All right. So you'll make an attack check. So this will be a D12 plus either power or celerity, plus your attack bonus.
Does the throw come with a battle cry?
Ha!
Yeah, just the loud, forceful action. I'm gonna go with power.
Okay.
And then I don't remember talking about this. I looked it up in the thing. The clothes I have give me a +2 to attack and a +4 to defense. Do I get anything for the weapon itself?
That depends on the abilities you took, which I don't think either of the two that you took added to attack at all. I think they were more for your defense.
They didn't.
Stuff.
Yeah, there's resilient and protection.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to clarify. So it's just the extra +2.
Yep.
And then the 4 I already have.
Yep.
Cool. D12, right? Is that what I have? It is what I have.
It's the one that has 12 sides.
Yeah, I had to double check because I'm not smart.
I guess these illusions need to make a defense.
It'd be a 9.
Uh-huh.
What did they get? Did they get a nat 1 or a nat 12?
No, but I did roll an 11.
That's okay. I just need. It's fine.
So.
It's cool. It's a giant iron shield.
Accidentally, out of just her reflexes that have been honed of nearly 30 straight years of combat, as the shield goes sailing towards one of Lilith's illusions, she just instinctively kind of throws her hands up, and a magic shield appears around it, and your shield cracks into it, and and is in the shield a little bit before your shield I'm presuming dissipates and reappears back in your hand, and her magic shield falls, and she kind of looks at you a little embarrassed and is like, sorry, like I said, I'm a guardian caster, and when I see something going towards what I consider an ally, I just kind of reflectively, I'm sorry, do you want to try again? So, I'll make sure.
As she's talking, as she's as soon as I see my shield dissipate and she starts offering an explanation, I just load and fire at the next one.
All right, go ahead and make another attack check.
For explanation.
Yeah, make another attack check.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Gonna roll.
Do you want to do it? Okay.
That's another 9. I'm getting a different dice for the next roll.
Okay. That, however, is fine because this time I just kind of set a number to see if you hit, because there isn't anything defending. Because again, they're just standing there. So your aim is true and your shield is mighty, and it plows into the head of one of the illusions and just shatters its cranium off. And this illusory human figure that's kind of T-posing there just falls over, and once it hits the grass, it just shatters and dissipates.
How many targets did she make?
She made 4, so there's 3 left.
Okay, as soon as I see the, same thing. The shield dissipates, and as soon as it's back on the arm, I'm immediately taking the javelin pose again and
Okay.
launching at the third.
Yeah, so I'll just say, like, go ahead and just make 3 attack checks.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Ooh, that one's higher. That one's a 12.
Ooh.
And another 12. Ooh, math. 14.
Okay, yeah, so very easily. Clearly the first time, the only thing that got in the way was the fact that your teacher instinctively saved something. But yeah, all 3 times your shield just shatters through these illusions and they dissipate immediately.
After the fourth one and the shield reappears, I want Rook to like very pointedly just turn and stare at her and be like, "All right," and like pounds his chest and ducks behind the shield.
Oh, so he's like, "Oh, you want me to?"
Yes.
Oh,
You can go
Okay.
at him if you want, Peach.
Come on.
no, it's okay, Taka. I understand, but no, it's fine.
Okay.
So she again she like gets in this like stance, and you see her kind of like thinking a little bit, and then she like flourishes her wand, and this ball of what do I want to pick?
Lightning.
Yeah, this like glowing green sphere just like coalesces on the tip of her wand and then launches towards Rook. So
Okay.
first, yes. And so now Rook, you need to make a defense check.
Yes. Now, one of the abilities I picked for the shield was resilient, and if I remember correctly, that one is either physical damage reduction or a +1 to defense.
Correct.
Is that in the moment, or do I pick that at like the
You,
beginning?
because I think it's that you choose it whenever you summon your
Need it?
weapon, I believe.
Okay.
But
Alright,
either way,
I'm-
you can choose it in this moment for
Okay.
this scenario.
So yeah, so I'm gonna add that. Ooh, that means I get a +5.
Yeah. So and then this will, since you're using the like the birth of your shield, this will be a I'll say to use power for the defense check.
A what now? You froze. I lost it.
Oh, sorry, power. So it'll be like a D12
yeah.
plus power plus your defense.
Really? That's a big number.
Hey, she's got some numbers too. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I believe you, but that's a 19 for me.
Okay, let me actually add then.
Yeah, because I rolled a 10, and then I had a 5 on defense and a 4 on power. That's 19, right? I can math.
Yes. You said you got a 19?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you successfully defend by 1.
That counts.
But yeah, so
only
you're
counts as one.
you're like
What is fair?
bulwarked behind this shield, and you feel this like pretty heavy like impact as the rest of you see this green energy like hit and like splash like against the shield. But after a couple moments, Rook comes up from behind the shield, completely unfazed. And she gives like a smile and a nod to you and says, that definitely wasn't the most powerful thing I could do, but I definitely was trying. I'm very impressed.
Fantastic. Yeah, I don't feel the need to demonstrate the power surge. I don't really know that there'd be a great way to do it here, but you get the idea.
All right. Yeah, so she okay. Not too significant of an end, but with all of you having, I thought that was a sneeze.
That was my dog.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But yeah, so everyone has met and
There's
gathered
Cat.
and given some brief introductions, shown off a little bit of who they are. And with that, your apprenticeship together under the tutelage of Master Lilith, for better or worse, officially starts. So we're going to end it there for today, and we'll pick up there next week. Same time, same chair.
You nailed it.
I wanna go get a different chair just because of that.
Yeah, I really do too. Just to spite you.
I might just like change the decoration on my chair
Every so often change things in the background.
just to mess with everyone.
Just subtly, yeah. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you for everyone that was here for coming to the first ever live stream of a game of the last Ingress. Of course, thank you all the players who came as well. We will see you here next week.
Bye.